Good afternoon, everybody. I was asked to come and talk about the recruitment industry and specifically in the interview process, how image consulting can be an added value. So coming back to Michael Page, and I don't know whether you would know, but we're a large MNC. We have 8,000 consultants globally. And within India, we focus mainly with one brand in the market for mid to senior level professionals, which would range from a 25 lakh upwards. So the type of people we interact with are most of the time people who have roles where they manage people or they having careers that progress in the right way. Now, everyone we introduce to our clients, they would eventually have an interview with us in our offices. Yeah? So when we invite people in our offices, we will actually look at three different things. We will assess them on technical knowledge and technical skill sets. We will assess them on their softer aspects. And thirdly, we will try to make them understand what the role is about and engage them about the motivation about the role. Technical skill sets, we do that because consultants in our business have a background in what they're recruiting for. So someone who would recruit for healthcare would come from the healthcare industry and so on and so forth. So that's quite easy. Yeah. The third part is about motivation. So we will speak with them about the role and try to make them understand how it could benefit their career, which is also part of what we are doing. Now the second part is where it's interesting from an image consulting perspective, because what I've seen in a lot of companies is that the way people get assessed is basically only on what is perceived in the interview. Yeah? What we try to do is we try to use a more scientific way in terms of assessing, and we use a technique which is called BBI, it's behavioral-based interviewing, where we go to the candidate, we ask them for certain situations where they need to solve a problem, need to work in team, need to manage a team, and so on and so forth. We understand what the problem was, we understand how they solved the problem, what their role was in solving the problem, and what the outcome is. And this is a more scientific way of trying to get a good understanding of the softer aspects of the candidate.
So when you talk about employability, you know what percentage, according to NASSCOM, what percentage of our graduates, and let me just share with you, we have about 50 lakh graduates coming into the industry, coming into for jobs every year, passing out every single year, 50 lakhs every single year. What is the percentage? Let's broadly divide them into generic students from generalists and technical skills. Any guesses? Generalists, what percentage employability there is? 20-25, very good. And for technical skills, engineering? It is 10% more. It's about 35 or so. Now what hits me is, who is responsible for the rest of the 75% or the 65%? So education sector is absolutely helpless. And this is how I have recommended that teachers should actually become teacher trainers. And in order to convert teachers into teacher trainers, we need trainers like you. So you are the people who can actually be the game changer in this nation or in this entire spectrum of shortage. How you can be impactful on trainers is something very critical. So trainers like A is equal to B and B is equal to E, therefore A is equal to C. I would say you can create trainers. Trainers can create better students. Therefore, you can create better students, better people, better youth. You can make a huge difference to this nation. The country needs you, and you will be the game changers in the years to come. I look forward to your association and your contributions. Thank you so much.
When you're looking at hiring senior managers, you have the luxury of, let's say, doing behavioral interviews, sitting down with them for half an hour, 1 hour, doing multiple interviews to make sure that this is the right fit. When you are hiring entry-level employees, especially in a banking, let's say, any other company, you have no choice but you have to hire probably hundreds of students at one time. You have not more than 10 minutes per student to interview them, to understand if they're the right fit or not, right? Now, when I've been doing my research on employability with universities around the world, we've understood what are the things that employers look for at entry-level hiring, what really makes a student sort of get over the top and actually get the job. There are 5 things that employers look for, but let's talk about the 3 things which are the most visible. Because when you just have 10 minutes to sit with a candidate to understand if they're the right fit or not, ultimately you're looking for what is called visible signals. That means these are indicators that I can see that make me believe that this person is a good fit for my company and will do well in my company, right? When I interview a student, the 3 things I'm looking for is good communication skills, very obvious. Second is past academic performance. It doesn't mean that the person actually has academic knowledge that is relevant to my company, but it indicates that the guy's worked hard and made an effort. The third thing which is important, and this is where you guys come in, is what you would call person to environment fit. Will this person fit into my company culture? Is he a Saif Ali Khan trying to walk into my wild MTV style culture where we all have blue hair and earrings, guys and girls have longer earrings than each other? Versus, is he the sort of person that we can deal with? Can we have a coffee with? Do we understand he's the right person?
For me, an image is self-image. What you think of yourself, when you think of yourself, how do you look, but also who you are from within. So it's a very essential part of us. So when you're talking about image, when you're talking about training yourself, training others, being impactful, you cannot take away the person from the image, isn't it? So it's imperative that we focus on the person. It's imperative that we focus on ourselves so we know how to make other people enhance themselves and bloom for who they are. That self-acceptance is very important. There's no health without mental health. I cannot be standing here if I'm not okay in my head. And you know how many people, let's just talk about India for right now, you know how many people, how many of us have a mental illness? 1 in 5. Recovery is only going to be possible when there's functionality. So that's where you guys come in. See, yeah, seriously, you guys are one of my crusaders, and I hope you guys join the infantry. You guys are educators. You guys are beacons of hope and beacons of light and path breakers and all of that. You guys are the ones who are going to tell future women there are no glass ceilings, so don't worry about breaking them. Just go ahead. You guys are mentors. You guys are going to be, in a way, life coaches, isn't it? So it's imperative for you to understand this as well. When I say 1 in 5, 1 in 5 is a huge number. So when we're talking about image, because that's when you guys will come up and you guys will start talking to them, okay, how do you sit, how do you look, how do you talk? And like Mr. Sahani said, we don't want an assembly line of people coming out, isn't it? We want, in fact, every individual to embrace themselves because that's what they're going to bring to the recruiting table as well.